Welcome back to class. Today we will talk about data collection system and time delay methods. Here's the agenda and direction for this week's online class. You will reach Collins chapter 2 and 4, and you will complete reading guide 4, and you should upload your completed reading guide to Blackboard, and then you can listen to the lecture and complete Iris module on RTI reading instruction, and you have to upload your response to Blackboard. I will explain how you can access to this module, Iris module, and complete your assignment later. We will talk about data collection system and time delay methods for your students with disability. Data collection, don't make it hard. You have to be simple, and data collection is easy. Basically, what you are going to do to collect data is you will look at your objective and you will collect data on your objective because you want to see your students improvement on the objective. So just look at your objective and you will collect data. First, what you need to do is you need to see if your objective is discrete behavior or chained behavior. If your objective is discrete behavior like this, then look at your criteria. So the criteria is 100% of the opportunity, right? Then you want to collect data using percentage, right? Very simple. If your target behavior objective is chained behavior like this, then you have to have task analysis. So you have to specify the steps or tasks in order. So for example, if your target behavior is chain behavior like this, then the task analysis include the following step: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you can specify, you can have a list of steps on the left side, and then you have dates each day, and then you will see the student can complete the steps, each step, and you will mark yes or no, and you can get the percentage. Easy. Here are some ways to collect data. Event recording include frequency, rate, and percentage. Latency, duration, interval recording include partial or whole interval, and time sampling methods. There are infinite ways to collect data. You can be creative, you can create your own, although I'm going to upload some sample empty data sheets you can use. You can download if you need, and you can use it, but you can be creative to collect data. So the first one is event recording. Event recording methods include frequency, rates, and percentage. The frequency is the easiest one. You will just count the number of times a behavior occurs within a specified time. So if you set 10 minutes as your observation time, you will see how many times the target behaviors occur within the 10 minutes. Today, tomorrow, a day after. So you will use telemarks, and you can count the behavior, how many occurrences you see. So this is a sample data sheets you can use. We will practice briefly next week in class when we meet again. You can use this type of sheets when you have chained behavior as target behavior. So from 1 to 25, I don't know how many steps you will have, but you will write down each step of the behavior within the chain behavior, and you will see if the child can complete each step. And you will circle or you can cross out, it's up to you, but you will use this type of sheets so you can count how many steps the child can complete independently or with help, depending on your objective description. Rate is a frequency of a behavior and its relationship to time. So you can use rate when the observation time of a session varies. So for example, you want to use frequency, but to use frequency, you have to have the same observation time across sessions. But if your observation time for each session, when your observation time varies across sessions. For example, today you can only observe for 30 minutes. Tomorrow you can have 10 minutes. Then you can use rate. You can still count the behavior, but you will divide the number of behavior occurred by time. So when you report the data, it can go like 3 times per minute or 5 times in 10 minutes. So you can still report your data in this way. This is a sample data sheets you can use. Duration is easy. So the length of time a behavior occur within a specified time. So like for example, on task behavior, if that is your target behavior, then you want to see how long the child can sit and being on task. So you can say 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes was that was the data for her while she was on sit, something like that. So that's duration. Duration is easy. So this is a form you can use for duration data recording. Latency, this is also easy when a student is very reluctant to do something. Then you will collect data on latency. So you will collect the length of time between the presentation of SD, the stimulus, and the initiation of the behavior. So when teacher says something like everyone takes out a pencil, when teacher say that direction, you want to see how long it takes for the student to start taking out his pencil. So it can be 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 2 minutes. It's up to the student though. Here's the simple recording sheets. Everything will be online, so you can download if you want to use. Interval recording sheets. There are 2 types of interval recording, partial and whole interval. So if you want to use interval recording, you will set the observation time, let's say 10 minutes across sessions, and then you will divide the 10 minutes into equal and small interval, like 10 second, 20 second, or 30 second. This chart, in this chart, the minute was divided into 10-second interval. So each minute we have 6 interval because we are using 10-second interval. Makes sense, right? There are only 5 minute observation time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiplied by 5. So there are 30 intervals boxes, right? So if you are using whole interval, you will see that if the target behavior occurs from very beginning of the interval to the end of interval continuously without stopping point. If you are using partial interval, if the behavior occur at at any moment within the interval, you will mark and you will say that's the occurrence. So here's an example. T means talks out. So that's the target behavior. Let's say this person is using partial interval. So the teacher marked T if this person, student Diego, talked out at any moment within that interval. So she marked T in the first interval, third, and fourth. So you will see how many occurrences you see across intervals. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 occurrence over 30 intervals total. So the occurrence, the percentage of occurrence of this talking out behavior was 57%. So you will mark like that. Time sampling form. So time sampling is very similar to interval recording, but you are going to use larger interval, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then you will set the timer for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever number you set. And you will set the timer. Whenever timer goes off, like every 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you will look up and see if the child is engaging in the behavior, the target behavior at that moment. If you see the target behavior, whatever behavior you're focusing, if you see the behavior at that moment, you will mark in the interval as occurrence. Here's the summary. You can take a look at this. You can use this one as reference when you choose the methods, when you choose data collection methods for your project. Okay, for your project, we will collect data. So when you collect data, you will collect two different type of data. So baseline is just baseline. Before you implement the intervention, you want to figure out how the child behaves in terms of your objective. So you will observe the behavior, target behavior, without intervention or prompt anything. You will just naturally observe the target behavior more than 3 times. So you want to see how the child is performing in terms of the target behavior. You must have at least 3 data points, 3 baseline data points, and it's good to have stable baseline. So you can when you introduce your intervention, you can compare the effects of intervention with this stable baseline. Intervention. You will choose a intervention strategy to promote whatever behavior you're focusing. It's by introducing the intervention, you can see the behavior change. You can compare the behavior change with the baseline. So before you introduce the intervention, the focus behavior like social interaction was really low. But when you introduce the intervention, if the behavior increase, then you can compare your the effectiveness of intervention with baseline data. I have to talk about research design. We are going to use A-B design. A is baseline, B is intervention. So because we want to compare the data between baseline before you introduce intervention and after you introduce intervention. So A phase is always called baseline. Baseline is always called A. And intervention phase is called B. That's why we said this is A-B design. It's also known as teacher design. So you will have more than 3 baseline, but in this graph, this teacher has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 baseline, you see, right? And then the target behavior was number of correct responses on reading assignment. So before you introduce intervention, she has 5 baseline sessions. She just observed without help or without intervention, and the correct response was really low. When she introduced intervention, I don't know, she didn't specify the intervention, what intervention she used, but when she introduced intervention, the correct response, the frequency of correct response increased with the intervention. And she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sessions using the intervention. So we can tell the intervention was effective. Later, for your project, you will graph your data like this. When you interpret your graph, you should consider these 3 terms: level, trend, variability. So you will see, you will compare the level, the mean of data within a condition. So mean of the data within baseline will be compared with the mean of data within the intervention phase. Easy, right? Trends, that's a slope or patterns of change over time. So you can tell the trend was flat, positive, negative. Variability, it's how much the data is fluctuating. We want to see the stable data within each condition. So only when you introduce the intervention, the behavior increase or challenging behavior decrease. That's good, but if you see too high variability within a phase, then something is going on, right? So we want to see stable variability, low variability, and we want to see the positive trends or negative trends based on the description of objective. And we want to see the mean change across conditions, right? So when you interpret your result on the graph, you should consider these 3 terms. Here's the example graphs. Let's just take a look at the first graph. So let's say this teacher wants to improve a child's social interaction skills. Then the baseline, the mean was really low and trend flat. And variability, as you see there, there is low variability, very flat. And next phase, that's intervention. The mean increase with intervention, right? And then the trend is flat, and then variability is also low. So we can tell the intervention was effective. Intervention controlled the behavior. Intervention affected the behavior change, right? We can definitely tell that. So we are going to use these 3 terms, level, trend, variability, to interpret the graph. Last week we talked about prompting systems, and we covered least to most, most to least. Today we'll talk about time delay system. So time delay methods include simultaneous prompt system, simultaneous time delay, constant time delay, and progressive time delay. These 3 time delay methods looked similar, but has slight difference. We want our student to learn without error. So by providing this prompting or prompting procedure, systematic prompting procedure, we want to help our students, and we want to decrease opportunity for errors, and we want to increase access to reinforcement. To use time delay procedures, you must consider several things. First, you need to see if the child can wait to your prompt. and you have to know what type of prompts will work best for the learner. It's called controlling prompts. The controlling prompts for A students is means the prompts that must work for the student to understand the task. So the controlling, when you provide controlling prompts, the student must able to complete the task or direction you provide. That's called controlling prompts. And controlling prompts varies across people because I may understand your verbal prompts, but a student may not understand your verbal prompts if students has hearing impairments, right? So controlling prompts is different across people. So you have to figure out what is the controlling prompt for your specific student. Time delay can be used for discrete behavior and chained behavior. So you can use all behavior. Basically, you can use time delay for all behaviors. Let's talk about constant time delay. Once you set the goal, then you will pick one type of prompts that must be controlling prompts that works for your students. You will provide the controlling prompts right after SD is given. That's called 0-second delay. Your controlling prompts is given at the same time as request. After you say something, then you provide the controlling prompts for 5 trier or 10 trier, the number you can set. After the 5 trier, then you don't provide the controlling prompts at 0-second delay. Instead, you will provide your controlling prompts at 5 seconds or 4 seconds after your request is given. And then you will provide a 4-second time delay for 5 trier or 10 trier. Here's a procedure. After you deliver task direction, you'll provide controlling prompts right away. And then if student make correct response after you, then you'll praise the student. If student make incorrect response, then you will correct error and prompts will be repeated. So here's the example.
Cal, are you ready to learn some words?
Yes.
What word? Blue.
Blue.
What word? Yellow.
Yellow.
Great job, buddy. No, yellow. What word?
Green.
You're supposed to wait for me to say it. You know green. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Plus I know all the colors.
You do. All right. Okay. What word? Red.
Red.
You know red. What word? Yellow.
Yellow.
You know yellow.
So this is 0-second
word?
trier.
Blue.
So you will do this
Wait, there's
type
two
of
blue.
0-second
There are. You're
trier.
right.
Yeah.
5 sessions,
There are.
10 sessions,
This
so
time wait for
student
me to
can
say
learn the
Okay.
things you want to teach.
What
with
word?
second,
Yellow.
Yellow.
0-second
You know yellow.
delay.
What word? Red.
Red.
You know red. What word?
Green.
You're right, though. Good job. What word? Green.
Green.
You know green. What word? Red.
Red.
You know red. What word? Blue.
I said it the same
You
time.
did. You know blue. Good job, buddy. You did awesome.
You can collect data in time delay. You can collect data on correct responses unprompted, incorrect responses unprompted, correct responses prompted, incorrect responses prompted, and no response NR. We'll talk about data collection next week and practice. But I just want to show you the sample data sheets. As you can see, the teacher is focusing on change behavior. There are five steps, let's say. Then she collect data on before prompts, after prompts, so you can compare the data and each day. So after you deliver 5 to 10 0-second delay, and you are going to use constant time delay sessions, so you can wait 3 seconds or 4 seconds, whatever second that is socially appropriate. You can set. It's the same, but you will wait for 3 seconds before you provide prompts. So you deliver task direction and wait for 3 seconds. And if students make correct responses, you will praise. If students has no responses or incorrect responses, then you can provide prompts again, or you can correct error.
Or say them quick.
Okay. Cal, are you ready to learn some words?
Yes.
All right. Remember, if you don't know the word, wait and I'll tell you. Okay?
A.
Okay. What word?
Blue.
You know blue. What word?
Yellow.
You know yellow. What word?
Green.
You know green. What word?
Red.
You know red.
Okay, so this is a delayed section.
What word?
Yellow.
Sessions.
Great job. You know yellow.
After she gives directions, she does not provide controlling prompts immediately,
What
and
word?
she waits
You know
for
blue.
the child's
nice
response.
Job, buddy.
This child was really good to respond.
What word?
Yellow.
So the teacher
Yellow.
didn't have to correct the error, or
What word?
didn't
Red.
have to wait for 3
Great
seconds
job,
or
bud.
4 seconds.
You did.
But if the students needed for error corrections or prompts, she will wait for 3 seconds and she will provide appropriate responses, like prompts. Well, if you want to use CTD's constant time delay methods for your final project to teach math skill or math skill, literacy skill, you can use it. You can use in a small group, or you can use in one-on-one sessions. You can consider to use this because this is evidence-based intervention strategy. It's good. There are several detailed things you must consider, but I will talk about those things next week in class. Progress time delay is a little different. It's identical to constant time delay, except the delay interval is gradually increased from 0 to whatever seconds, 5 seconds, 6, 7, 8. So both time delay methods start their trial from 0-second delay, but progress time delay increase interval from 0 seconds time delay. They have 5 sessions at 0-second delay, and the next session they increase 1 second. So in summary, the teacher has 5 0-second delay, 5 1-second delay, 5 2-second delay. So the teacher will gradually increase the delay time. Makes sense, right? Versus constant time delay. If you use constant time delay, you use 5 0-second delay, and then you jump to like 3-second time delay and deliver 5 3-second time delay sessions, something like that. Stimulus prompting, it's basically it's 0-second delay. So you will never leave the 0-second delay. So you can provide like 5 0-second delay teaching, and you probe and see if the child learn with 0-second delay. So you don't provide any prompts and see if the child can perform the behavior without the controlling prompt. If student cannot perform the behavior without the controlling prompts, then you're going back to 0-second time delay. It provides 5 more sessions with 0-second time delay, and going back to probe, going back to 0-second time delay. So something like that. 5 0-second delay, 5 0-second delay, and probe 5 0-second delay and probe, something like that. It's easy. Let me talk about IRIS module because this will be the assignment for today. IRIS Center provides useful information and educational tools based on CC, NCATE, and DEC standards. So it's good resources you can use as special educator and a teacher in a blended classroom. We briefly talked about RTI in our class. They provide really good information about reading instruction you can use in your blended classroom. So if you go to if you click the link, you will see this type of page. I circle the part you need to complete in yellow, right? So you will study from challenges to the assessment. So you will click each of these sections and you will study. And at the end of this module, you will see the assessment. If you click the assessment, you will see this screen, right? So the assessment page give you several questions. I circle in yellow. There are some more in the below. You will, after you study this module, you will answer to these several questions, and you will save your response in a document file, and you will upload your answer to Blackboard. That's the assignment for today. Okay, for next week, please read Collins chapter 3, and Wesling and Fox chapter is on Blackboard, so please read it. And please complete your reading guide 5 by 4:50 p.m. next week. Also, you have to complete your IRIS module on RTI reading by next week. Okay, if you have any question, please email me at sunnykim@uic.edu, and have a great week. Bye-bye.